Hello guys, right, a few weeks ago I did a video how your normal takeaways will cook a curry for you. Takeaways that you go to at a weekend, served hot. They cook them single portion, quick, with a base gravy that is just basically a soup. It's boiled onions, carrots, tomatoes, sometimes peppers, and your spices, lots of oil. It's boiled down, blended up, and then that's used as your gravy sauce for your curry, cooked in a high heat, very fast for your takeaways. Obviously at Mads, I don't cook like that, and I can't cook like that because I cook in bulk. Curries are delivered cold in bulk for reheating. So I cook a more authentic way, and this is just going to be one of the versions that I use. One of my base sauces that I will use. This will make like a boona, a bolte, dishes like that. So got a pan, onions, hard spices, some oil in there. So I'm just going to heat that oil up and get the hard spices in. Right, my oil's heating up now, so into that I'm going to throw my hard spices. So in here I've got like cinnamon, bay leaves, peppercorns, star anise, cloves, stoneflower, cumin seeds. So they'll all go in. Give them a whiz around in the oil. They'll release all the flavours, and then I'm going to throw in. So today I've got just 2 kilos of onions. Obviously when I'm cooking for you guys I cook on a much bigger scale. I'm not really sure if 2 kilos of onions are going to fit in this pan. I'm going to put about 80% of my onions in a minute, and then I'll brown them off. The browning stage will take 45 minutes to an hour at least. I like a nice deep colour on the onions, and that's where you get the sweet flavour from for your curry. Alright, that smells good. I'm just going to let them cook through a bit longer before adding the onions. Right, into that I'm adding probably 1.5 kilos of the onions. Try to squeeze a few more in there, and then I'll cook these down until they're nice and golden brown before I go on to the next stage. Right, just moving on to the other hob. Right, I've got about 1.5 kilos of the onions in there. I'll cook them down, and then towards the end of cooking I'll add some more fresh onions, and that just gives a bit more texture to the dish, because these will go deep brown, they'll go like mush when I add the tomatoes. So if I add some fresh onions towards the end of cooking, just keeps things fresh and more texture. So I'll come back in 30-45 minutes. Right, 20 minutes in and we are nowhere near done. Like I said, this is a long process. We're talking an hour probably for this amount of onions. We'll come back then. Right, we're about 40 minutes in now, as you can see, starting to take some colour on board the onions. Still away. I want these really nice golden brown before we add the garlic and ginger and some fresh onions. Right, that's been an hour and 15. Some beautiful colour on that. I still want the colour a bit darker, but right now I'm going to add some fresh onions. I'm going to cook them for 10 minutes with this, and then we'll add the garlic and ginger. This just gives a bit more texture and body to the sauce once it's finished. So we'll have like 80% of the sauce is deep caramelised onions. It just gives it a bit of a lift and a bit of body to the sauce. So we'll come back in 10 minutes when we add the garlic and ginger. Right, as you can see, some nice colour on there. The fresh onions are not as brown, but that's been about an hour 20 to get to that stage, just for 2 kilos of onions. So to that we're going to add a good amount of garlic and ginger paste. I blended this up this morning. There's about 300 grams there, half garlic, half ginger. I'm just going to cook that out until the rawness goes. The onions will probably go a little bit darker and it's time to add the spices. There we go, look at that colour. The garlic and ginger has been browned off, should I say. Looks unbelievable, smells unbelievable. So the next step is to add the whole spices. I'm just going to turn the temperature down on the gas so don't burn them. And this is my own blend of spices that's taken me years to perfect. They're going to go in. I'm going to bloom them in all the oil for about 2 minutes or so, and then we'll just add the tomatoes. But no, them spices have been cooking out. You can see some oil come to the top. It smells so good. So my lovely assistant is going to pour in the tomatoes. So this is just blended, roughly blended canned plum tomatoes. So some of the bases I'll use the same quantity of tomato to onion. So I use 2 kilos of onion, and sometimes I'll use 2 kilos of tomato, but this time I've just gone for around 1 kilo of tomato because of what I'm going to cook out with this base. So Laurel's giving that a stir. When it comes to boil, we're going to put the lid on, and we're just going to let that simmer for a good 45 minutes until all the oil comes to the surface. Right, as you can see, this has been going probably another 30 minutes, and look at the mess. Obviously this is my home kitchen. Imagine this on a large scale. This will only make about 12 curries or so. Imagine the scale that I cook in the kitchen at work, at Mad's kitchen. That's why Bev comes and cleans all my mess up, because it's a messy job. At Mad's kitchen, when I'm making this base, I actually have to wear safety goggles because the tomato pops up, and the amount of times it's hit me in the face and the eye, I just started wearing safety goggles. But as you can see, very rich, very aromatic sauce. The oil has come to the surface, and this is nearly ready. Another 5-10 minutes, and then I'm just going to add some garam masala. I'm going to add some kasuri methi. Cook that out for about 5 minutes, and then we will be done. And from that base, then I can make a load of dishes. But I can make a traditional masala, a boona, a balti, all them types of dishes. If I want to, I can even blend this sauce up. It was like an orangey colour because of all the turmeric in there. And I can even make a madras type dish. Just depends what I'm cooking. This is just one of the bases that I use at Mad's, but this is probably the most important base that I use. So this is now a very rich, aromatic base sauce for a lot of the curries that I cook at Mad's. The tomatoes have cooked out, so all the acidity has gone. With the caramelised onions, this is now a sweet, beautiful sauce, and in its own right you can add some meat to that and you've got an amazing curry. But I use this base in a few different ways, which I'll be showing in the next video. So right now I'm going to just add some garam masala, some kasuri methi, and I'm going to cook it out for around 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm just going to let that settle with the heat off. I'll come back when it's done. Right, we're done. As you can see, hell of a lot of mess, but the oil's come to the surface, the heat's off, you can see the craters in the masala. This is fully cooked. This is a base to a lot of recipes I do. And don't get me wrong, I can take a spoonful of this, a couple of spoonfuls of this, add some meat, and you've got an amazing curry. I can use this for a boona, a balti, add some veggies, add some other meat, add a couple of other spices, and it's perfect, and that's what I do. So I will make another video probably next week to show how I can transform this masala base, so I call it a tomato onion masala. It can be called a dag, it can be called a chopped masala. Just call it what you want. It is basically a masala, and then I'll transform this into one of the amazing curries that you guys get from Mad's Curry Company and Mad's Kitchen. Hope you've enjoyed. So the video is only what, 7 or 8 minutes long, but it's actually taking over 2 hours to reach this stage with just 2 kilos of onion. Speak soon guys, thanks for watching.